Hello, we're doing these videos to mostly for our students who can't train with us right now, and so a little bit of background. All of our students are either white belt or blue belt, so we don't have anybody advanced. So most of these techniques that you're seeing are fundamental concepts toward jiu-jitsu, and so that is what we're trying to accomplish here. Today we're going to show how, when you get your guard pass to side control, how to regain the half guard when you're on the bottom. Here. Start from here. Okay, so we're going to start from here, and there's a lot going on here, and the fundamental concept, a lot of the times when you get your guard pass, especially at a lower belt, you feel like you've already lost, and so what you do is you start to, what I used to call flail about. This is what I would do, is I would start pushing, I would start holding my breath, and all the things that you're not supposed to do, and then what happens is you just tire yourself out, they're holding you in side control, and then you end up grateful that they're submitting you so that they can get off of you. So what we're going to demonstrate is proper fundamental posture in jiu-jitsu. And some of the things that we're showing aren't necessarily what everybody else in the jiu-jitsu community is doing, but when we show a little bit of a different variation, we'll try to explain why we're doing it and the concept behind it and why we feel it's important to do it that way. Doesn't mean that you have to do it that way, it's just that something we would like our students to do. So the first thing, when you get your guard pass, most people are going, oh no, it's about to get bad. I never want to reach out for him because that's going to give him levers to be able to control me. What I want to do is I want to have my hand almost like in a reverse Pledge of Allegiance position underneath. I'm going a little bit further out. I'm not getting my elbow past my center line. I'm just keeping it tight as close as I can to my ribs, because I don't want him to occupy that space between my ribs and my elbow. My hand is resting on his hip. It's not in his hip here. And by now, if you've done jiu-jitsu for more than a day, they'll tell you this is a bad idea because he'll roll his hip down and you'll get wrist lock because my arm is firmly into the ground. If he starts rotating his hips down, he'll wrist lock me. So what you want to do is rest the blade of your forearm against the hip. You can't see it right now, but you will when we see the opposite angle, is that my hips are off the mat. My hips are not flat and I'm not relaxed. If anything, this is a time when I'm working the hardest. My hips are about an inch to half an inch off the mat. My hand and my left hand is glued to my ribs like my life depends on it, because if my elbow gets away from my ribs, then it's only going to get worse for me. He's going to start underhooking, elevating my elbow up. He's got a head and arm choke right there. Boom. A lot of people put their head here, and we're not saying it's wrong, but it does give that space, and if anybody knows how to attack the elbow, he'll just start extending his hand up, 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 and then over, and then I'm back in the same situation. So I'm going to keep it down here so that if he tries to lift my elbow, he's going to have to lift my whole body with it. My left hand is pressed firmly into his hip because I don't want him to go to north-south. And it's also a monitor if he sits to Kesagatami. If he does, I'm going to go with him and I'm going to turn on my side, and he just made my escape so much easier. Because now I'm on my side, I can control this space, I can even come in and start attacking arm bars, or at the very least underhook and get to his back. So what I want to do is, I want my hips off the mat, I want to go ahead and get a little higher up on me. So right here. So this is the side control that just about everybody in the jiu-jitsu community does. So I press it into him, and now I'm holding here. My hips are up a little bit higher off the ground so that I can move, and it also helps with my hip escape when he goes to go to knee on belly. So when he goes to slide across, I can rotate with him. My hands are down, making a frame against his hip so he can't advance against me. I can't stay here because anybody who's good is going to go straight to the back. I can't let him, yeah, see, boom, he's on. And I can't let him get balanced so that he can put pressure on here and then have the space for his hand to go on my elbow and push it forward. If he can, based on this hand, his back hand can now shove my elbow forward and he's on his way to my back. So when he's doing this, my back leg, which he's doing a great job of hooking onto so that I can't get the half guard, what it's going to do is it's going to bump him forward so that he has to base harder. I'm going to grab his leg, put his leg between my legs, and now the bottom leg acts as an elevator. I'm dropping my top leg and raising my bottom leg to get his knee off the mat. I push the hand and I start rotating back toward him. I don't want to get stuck here. If I get stuck here flat on my back, it's not the end of the world. But what I want to do is I want to bring my knees and my elbows up to create the momentum to lift him up, and then I want to block his leg. I don't want him to turn back toward me. I want to block his leg, and I want to switch my hooks from the bottom hooking to the top hooking. And now I'm either going to take his back or I'm going to sweep him. So, again, we're going to see it from this angle. He gets to side control. If you can see on the video, my hips are off the mat. This is on the mat, this is off the mat. My hand is pushing into him. My hand is glued to my chest and my elbow glued to my ribs. Go ahead and cross face me as hard as you want. He really can't cross face me as hard as he wants to. Right here, go as hard as you want. Because my elbow can also get him off of me. If he gets to be too uncomfortable on my face, I can extend my elbows away and I can move my hips. Notice he's controlling my shoulders, but my hips are free to move around. There isn't really nothing to stop my hips from moving. He really can't go north-south because this hand right here is constantly firm pressured down. If he starts to go to north-south, I'll just walk with him and keep him in this position. I won't let him go north-south. So now his only move is, he knows that if he sits to Kesagatami, I'll escape easy. My knees come in and my escape is done. So what I need to do is make sure he feels this pressure. So the only thing he feels like he can do is knee on belly. So when he goes to knee on belly, I go with him. I don't try to fight it. I make my frame. I don't stay here. We're only pausing here for demonstration. I'm going to bump him, grab his leg, put it between my legs, elevate with my bottom leg, turn, and use the momentum to come back to the other side. Thank you for watching these videos. If you have any comments you'd like to add, please feel free to do so. Again, we want to especially thank our students who have been great support for us in these trying times. If Jiu-Jitsu has taught us anything, is tough times don't last, survive, and when you've survived, then attack. Us.